What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, continuing my deep dive into Neil Young's entire career. On Fridays, I'm doing the albums, the studio albums, and the things like Time Fades Away, Rust Never Sleeps will fall in that category of sort of the official release, like official canon as it chronologically happened. And then between Fridays, I'm going to drop a video or two of something that was released later, but is from that era. We're still, even though I just dropped Zuma, I'm still in 74, still in the pre-Zuma era, because there's a lot of really, really, really good stuff that I wanted to get to before we got too far into the 70s. And today I'd like to rant and rave and praise and tell you to go get Citizen Kane Jr. Blues. This is a bootleg recording of a show from May 74 at the Bottom Line in New York City. I think the story is something like other people performed, were also on stage, like big artists. I think Leon Redbone was one, because I think Neil borrowed a harmonica from Leon Redbone for this show. He does 11 songs. It's him, an acoustic guitar, and a borrowed harmonica. And at the time, the 11 songs might have been, for a hardcore Neil Young fan, fascinating, because many of them were unreleased, had not been released before. So that was pretty cool. And then I think 3 of them had been previously heard before. There's a cover of a Neil Young song that Crazy Horse did, Dance, 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 closes out. He does Helpless. And then he also does a cover of Green Sleeves, which just fits in perfectly. Could have thought it was a Neil song. And then everything else has not been released. We get 4 songs off On the Beach. We get 1 song off Tonight's the Night, 1 song off Zuma, 1 song off Long May You Run, and then a song which kind of has never been officially released on like a studio album, the song that actually opens the entire show, Pushed It Over the End, which Neil introduces as Citizen Kane Jr. Blues, hence the title of this bootleg. It is an audience recording. It is a bootleg recording. Apparently some guy had a cassette player. He taped the show. It sounds like an audience recording. It sounds like you're sitting in the back of a pretty small club. You can hear the guitar. You can hear the voice. You can hear the harmonica. There's rustling of bottles. I think the guy taping it has a cough, because there's a cough that's pretty close to the microphone. You can hear tables moving, a door moving. Like, you can hear the noise of the club. Audience is pretty attentive, so really the chatter is kind of between songs, and the noise is people getting served drinks and stuff like that. It's interesting to hear the audience laugh at some of the lines. The whole part in Long May You Run about the Beach Boys gets quite a lot of chuckles. The Pissin' in the Wind line in Ambulance Blues gets quite a lot of chuckles. I think Roll Another Number maybe gets a couple laughs, but it's interesting to see what the audience responds to throughout this show. Helpless gets a big round of applause when we recognize that song. But it is an absolutely amazing, intimate performance of what you could argue is peak Neil Young, 1974. I mean, just an amazing run of albums at the time, the stuff he was going through personally that he could manifest in the best way possible through his art, through his music. So like Neil suffering and like taking on both personal pains and the pains of the world and turning it into art is a magical thing. And this is him doing it in one of the most intimate ways ever. I believe still to this day, because I don't think it's changed, the only known live performance of Motion Pictures is this performance that's captured here. I don't know if it was, not only do I not know, I'm pretty sure no other version has been released, but I don't believe there's knowledge of any other version being performed. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So you get that specialty, plus sitting here in 2024, looking at this show from 50 years ago, this set list is killer. Whether you've never heard these songs before, whether you know these songs before, regardless, this set list slays, as they says. Opens up with Pushed It Over the End, Citizen Kane Jr. Blues, as Neil introduces it. A reference to Patty Hearst. So you got some females toting guns in here, and then going into politics. Patty Hearst being William Hearst's granddaughter, and Citizen Kane was about Hearst, right, in the paper company or the paper empire, publishing empire, and all that stuff. So Citizen Kane Jr. Blues, Patty Hearst, her blues, what she was going through in early 70s. I like it. I think it's a nice song. Kind of has almost sounds like it could have fit on the Beach. It has that acoustic. It just feels like it could have been released as an acoustic performance on the Beach, and it would have fit in perfectly. Maybe lyrically, not quite fits in with the story on that album, but musically it works. I think it's a great opener. I think it's a compelling pull you in type song. Nice opener. But then nobody had ever heard the song before, so any of these really probably could have been a good opener. Long May You Run follows, works really well as an acoustic song. Green Sleeves just absolutely fits in with the Neil catalog. Wouldn't even know it was a cover. You get the lyrics, absolutely fantastic. Then Neil, who's quite talkative throughout this entire show, does a little introduction about folk singers and doing fast for slow songs, and then says, hey, I'm going to do a really long song. He drops an Ambulance Blues on us. Just absolutely mesmerizing, absolutely fantastic. Just the sequencing of the kind of long, kind of serious, pushed it over the end to open, sort of a lighter, funner, more accessible Long May You Run, the Green Sleeves, and then into Ambulance Blues. The sequencing is perfect. After Ambulance Blues, almost like as a reward to the audience, hey man, you've sat through what, 20 plus 25 minutes of music so far, close to. Probably only thing you know is Green Sleeves. We're going to drop a Helpless in there. Audience responds enthusiastically for Helpless. Then we get a Revolution Blues. That energy is still here. That sort of, that just kind of that tense, frantic energy is here. I do think the Zuma version, the studio version, or not the Zuma version, the On the Beach version works better. But this is still an absolutely fantastic song. So even here, it just absolutely, it has that energy, has that sort of like, yeah, let's start a revolution. Oh no, this is Manson energy. No, let's maybe not start a revolution. Great song. Then we get On the Beach, powerful, absolutely awesome. There's a little break. I guess he's tuning his guitar. One of the audience members yells out, play a country and western song. So Neil abides by playing Roll Another Number for the Road, introduces it as a novelty track, encourages the audience to sing along to a song they've never heard before, but it's catchy, so you'll get it. Isn't really, because it's not repetitive. Doesn't do that little country talk twang thing in the second verse, but still a fantastic performance. Then we get Motion Pictures. I think I might like this better than the studio version because it doesn't have that sort of, twangy guitar that's going on beside it. It's a little more just direct and bare. And he introduces it by telling the story of he was sitting in a hotel watching motion pictures on the TV. Him and his buddies were drinking some honey sliders. You dip it and you smoke it. That's what a honey slider is. He kind of explains all that before playing this song. Cool to hear him so talkative. Then we get A Part in My Heart. He announces he only has one more song. He says, yeah, I only have two songs. I don't know which one to play. Somebody says, play both. So he does. He does Part in My Heart first. Sounds beautiful. And then he closes out with a little more uplifting, up-tempo dance. Little under an hour. Absolutely captivating, fantastic, intimate. Listening to this in like headphones, and it just, you can feel the room. Like put the headphones on, sit in a chair, grab a beer, and just pretend you're watching Neil perform. It's like that kind of environment. Like invite a couple of friends over and then have them move drinks around the table just to like make it even more 3D. But yeah, it's a flawed sound because it's a bootleg, but that's kind of what makes it so incredibly special. Especially considering 74, especially considering like this is apparently just a pop-up impromptu performance, the songs that are included, it's a magical special listen. Citizen Kane, it's part of the official bootleg series. Citizen Kane Junior Blues, just an absolutely, absolutely. If you're a Neo fan, it's a must hear. You got to get this. You got to check it out. You got to enjoy it. Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got. I just wanted to recommend this. You know, we're in this era in the review thing. So I'm going to try to take these little detours and hit on the absolute essential stuff. And this is one of those essential things. Check it out. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, comment, do those things. And peace. Talk to you later.